at the very least. At the same time, you know, Zoot has been playing with this particular champion composition quite a lot, but Vu starting off with his one fast character in Anarchy.
Yeah, this is where things get a little bit different. I think Vu may have sort of anticipated that Zoot was going to go with Anarchy first, and because of that, I think his direct answer is to make sure he has at least got one champion that can contest with the speed of the team that Zoot is bringing to the table. But on the flip side, if he can take out Vu early and then catch a good spawn, that is when those heavy champions are a little bit more prone to an Anarchy rushing them down heavily.
Always quite. We actually saw this exact same map, so it was Ruins of Sarnath versus with this sort of Anarchy mirror match to start things off last time on Thursday, and we actually took it down to one of the most cautious and slowest first rounds I think we'd seen consistently almost every time.
Well, normally you see the sort of rockets are a huge deal of catching someone off guard, especially if they're small and squishy like Anarchy tends to be. Zoot catching that first rail, forcing Vu away, catches his two, only has to get one more, but the injection gets popped. They trade an injection for an injection, and I don't think Vu was actually ready for Zoot to come back up that jump pad. Zoot, though, catching a couple of really crucial rails. If he can keep up these rails, no doubt we may see a couple of frags already.
Vu is already having no armor. Zoot ate quite a lot of damage from that rocket there, but it is Anarchy. Quite possible to get away. Going down towards heavy armor, but he knows Vu is there waiting for him.
Zoot ever so slightly misses that rail as he goes to try and collect it, and now that heavy armor is going to be in play. Vu taking it quite comfortably, and Zoot really needs to get a little bit of armor on deck, otherwise he will be subjected to those rails.
Managed to get a little bit of those, definitely better than nothing. Mega health is coming up in just a few seconds time, but you know, he really wants this injection. That injection being super important for these sort of one-on-one fights, being able to pop that to keep yourself alive. That means that Vu is incredibly likely to have this injection ready as well, though, so the next fight we see is probably going to be a little bit more close to what we saw last time, but again, catches that rail already, getting rid of a whole bunch of the armor that Vu collected on that heavy armor pickup. I think, yeah, Vu's quite easily able to secure that heavy armor underneath.
But now, importantly, Zoot's managed to get a few more rockets back.
Oh, good shot on that rail. Vu now very low. Zoot sort of expects him to come for this teleport, and Vu doubling back.
Yeah, actually,
that rockets.
You can see that really smart decision, and look how much damage Vu's done in a short space of time. I think Zoot really needs to catch these rails. He needs to get rid of that armor before he has the next fight. Look at his health, 76. He can't take a single rail, he's going to get one shot.
The armor not quite as easy to obtain as the health.
He was definitely expecting Vu to sort of cap that one out and look for it.
Oh, the rail didn't quite connect.
I felt like that one zipped past my head, let alone Zoot's. Oh my days.
Oh, missed that one there though. The injection has popped, speed increase. Not even coming out, and Vu is going to get that first frag with the rail.
After all that work, Zoot manages to land so many important rails, but it wasn't enough to really get Vu down to a significant amount of health to finish the job. With the exception of that first fight, Zoot going in with that dire orb. See Vu with a good read, forcing the injection out. However, the injection combined with the heavy armor does now mean that Anarchy is super dangerous.
Now we find ourselves more back to the sort of calm, neutral situation, trying to control these power-ups. Obviously, Zoot now having access to more health and armor total on the Ranger, but down a champion, so Vu's going to have the clock on his side, though. We've seen, because of how patient these guys are being so far, 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes, 30 seconds coming up on now, and that's like 1.5 minutes away from the end of the round, and if Vu can just survive, he's going to win on that champion limit. Or champion lead, I should say.
Yep. We are going to see another fight down here. Is it going to be enough to secure a frag? We do see him try and get out of there, yeah.
I'd be very surprised if Vu fell down to that. You know, he obviously had access to full health, a bunch of armor at the time, and the injection right there, just to pop him out of that situation if he needed to.
To get access to that. I mean, one thing Vu's done a great job of is actually just securing all of these important pickups, like the mega health and heavy armor. He's done such a great job of just making sure that he is the one that is basically taking them all the time. As I say that, it's probably going to go back downstairs, expecting heavy armor to respawn. As I've said that though, Zoot was able to secure it.
Yeah, the 1 minute warning has proc though, so Vu is going to be more than aware that he has that advantage right now. Zoot has to tie things up to at least get one champion frag here, but Vu's not going to make it easy. It is Anarchy. He has to somehow pin him down.
Yep, Zoot is he's in a lot of trouble at the moment. Like, he really has to make something happen, but as those rails go down, wow, Vu trying to be a little bit tricky whilst at the same time staying as agile as possible. If he got a rail hit, that would have been disgusting. 30 seconds on the clock. Zoot, I mean, he's super stacked, but it's not really going to matter if he can't catch the guy. See Zoot running around, I think, trying to find him, but Vu just avoiding him at all costs, it seems. He's just listening out. The second he hears those footsteps, he moves in the other direction. Exactly. As soon as he sees Zoot there,
No, is he going in? He actually might be going in for the kill. At least trying to stop getting this health.
Zoot
10
tried
seconds to go.
I think Zoot tried to head him off, but I think Vu kind of almost made that next level read, expecting Zoot to try and head him off, and he actually just doubled back in the same direction. That's going to be a timeout, and Vu, after a 5-minute round, is going to be 1 round up against Zoot.
So almost like a swap from one end of the spectrum to the other. So last game we saw Rail versus Agent. Agent with that clutch was just right up in his face non-stop. And now Vu running the same characters, but Clutch is there back, you know, and sort of the back end of his team, while Vu is bringing Anarchy first with a much slower game plan.
It's kind of crazy, really. You look at the way Vu is playing, and you would normally. You look at the way he's playing Anarchy, and you wouldn't really expect him to have a Clutch and a Sorlag on the rest of his team. It's so far between what this game plan normally is with Anarchy.
Well, especially, like, you know, if you use as much time as possible with Squishy Anarchy, by the time your other champions come out, they're going to be really healthy and tanky. It's going to be, I don't say easy to survive, but you are going to be able to live a little bit longer. And this fight's coming out. Zoot goes down straight away. Vu with that first frag, and once again finds himself with that champion lead.
I kind of feel like with the team composition, I think Vu may be making Zoot almost play against 2 different playstyles. But the second playstyle hasn't even been tested yet, because right now Vu is yet to lose his Anarchy. I mean, he's being left with a little bit of health at the last minute, but right now Zoot hasn't really been able to sort of like close it out so far.
Also, Vu is just taking away every pickup that he can, so it's actually, Zoot is being quite starved for resources.
It's definitely one of the elements. Not only trying to get ahead yourself, but keep the opponent behind if they are behind. And speaking of which, managed to land another rocket, and Zoot down to his 3rd and final champion. It's going to be Nyx, but in 1 minute's time, he's already taken down 2 champions. It's quite a tough situation to come back from.
So like you said, right, this is almost like the polar opposite to what we saw last time, and that sort of 2-play style that Vu's bringing. That supreme patience, but just like that, 1 minute, 2 frags already. Vu is very much keeping Zoot on his toes.
Pops the injection again. I mean, it's such a lifesaver for this champion, but Zoot with the chase down. And now, if he can get a good spawn, it's still going to be Clutch with the shield wall.
I'll say though, it's Nyx versus Clutch. We've already seen how this can go. Clutch being able to see a ghost walking Nyx through his barrier can be quite a game changer.
Absolutely, and no doubt we're going to see that used as well. If he tries to escape.
Unless Zoot can force if he can get a fight early and force the barrier out of Vu first, he might be able to do something.
But when she goes into her ghost walk as well, bear in mind, no longer can Clutch be outran. So if she goes into Ghost Walk with the intention of running away from him, he can see her and he will chase her until she's finished.
Indeed, the Mega Health though goes the way of Vu. A character like Clutch, that is very scary.
Yeah, I feel like Zoot's just having to be really careful. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to facing someone like Clutch, you really kind of need to be sort of picking him off with those rails from distance. You really need to make sure that when he gets up close and personal and ready for that sort of fight with the shield wall, that he does not have a full health bar and armor bar to work with. Oh, ever so slightly missed the top of his head.
It's unfortunate the sheer amount of health that Clutch has. You have to make sure you're making all those hits count. The barrier. Oh, barrier popped already.
Yeah, it was a good reaction. He expected the rail, so he popped the shield wall with the anticipation of soaking up a rail. However, the shield wall is now going to be gone, so if he gets a good trail with the lightning gun, which looks like he's trying to do now, Zoot might be in with a fighting chance if he can finish this Clutch before he gets the shield back.
We can see Vu's losing quite a lot of health though. Heavy armor's up soon.
Oh, not quite misses the rail, and it's enough time to get the heavy armor. Vu with a lifeline. If only the rail didn't miss.
Has the Mega Health though, so Zoot in a much better situation here.
Yeah, clearly Vu can hear him.
Using this aggressively, I'm not quite sure. Barrier's going to be back up soon.
Now the danger is that he went in for a sort of like a surprise attack going in behind with that Ghost Walk, but it wasn't enough to really find out where he was. So it's going to be quite a while now until he can go back into that Ghost Walk and survive if he needs to. And again, rails missing by an absolute like pixel of the screen.
Heavy armor back already though, which means that barrier is almost certainly going to be back up by now.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And the Ghost Walk, thanks to these hourglasses, definitely up too. And Vu, look at that health bar just increase.
Oh, he has no idea that Vu is around that corner. He could have been inches away from getting taken out, especially seeing his bear in mind. Now he's got that Ghost Walk.
He's actually still sitting there. Oh, he's caught him. Is it going to be enough to finish? Right, there's the barrier. Ghost Walk isn't going to get him out though.
He's going to get chased.
Oh no, Vu let him go.
I wonder why. Just let him go around with it.
Heavy armor goes in the way of Zoot, throwing a lifeline. Now here we go, gets that rail. Vu, no armor left. This could be dangerous if he can get this follow-up.
He heard the teleporter. Vu's on the run, maybe expecting him to double back.
Look at the speed in which Vu, the distance Vu has covered already. That's Clutch now.
I don't think I'd see the day where Clutch is able to run faster than Nyx. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Oh, catching the lightning gun though. What a bad situation, no Ghost Walk available. Barrier most likely.
Zoot's escape there was superb, and the rail misses. Bear in mind, he's got 5 seconds. He's going to get access to that Ghost Walk. Risky stuff using the jump pad, but he goes in. Bold decision.
Oh, good shot with the rail. Barrier is forced. Can he chase down?
Vu can see him. All he has to do is land one good rocket, one good rail will take Vu out and go down to the final champion, and it does just that. Zoot now is back in with a fighting chance. He needed that rail. Bear in mind, it's now 5 seconds until sudden death. If he didn't get that rail, Vu could have run away.
Indeed, but now it's Nyx versus Sorlag. We've seen this not go so well before. See if he gets hit by that Sorlag acid. He can pop Ghost Walk to be able to nullify that damage completely, and also means that Sorlag won't actually get the damage to see where she's gone.
Exactly. Quite a nice little answer.
That was a crucial frag for Zoot. Wonderfully played.
Absolutely as well. If he catches Vu with this rail, he might be able to be super aggressive. Doesn't get the rail again.
Oh, rockets coming through.
Yeah, the second you see those rockets, you've got to be so careful.
Heavy armor up though. So again, Zoot able to control it. Sorlag down here waiting for him.
Oh,
acid used.
Yeah, very importantly, the acid failed to connect, and it's going to be a while before Vu gets access to that again. Now we're in sudden death. Now bear in mind, the sudden death factor doesn't matter as much because they're both down to the final champion going into Ghost Walk. He's got plenty of health. Is he going to chase? He does indeed! But
Vu jumps out there. Gets out in time.
That could have been it. I mean, that was so close quarters for both of them. 3 seconds away, the heavy armor's going to spawn. He's going straight into the hands of Vu, who was waiting for him. And now Zoot has to get stacked back up. No health to fight yet.
Oh, misses that rail. Could have been very important. Vu quite healthy on both the armor and health front, but losing quite a bit now.
He's missed 3 rails here. Each one of them could have been important. Make it 4.
That one connects though. Ghost Walk is up, so Zoot has that escape option. We know Vu is looking for it.
Almost got it.
Oh, the mega health goes to Vu. Instantly back in this one.
Unfortunately with Zoot is that he keeps getting so close to these rails landing, but he just keeps missing them by like a margin length. But at the same time, all he needs to do, I know it's easier said than done, is just land those long-range rails and really pick that health down. If the large champion gets stacked up, just remove that stack before the fight happens. 13 shots left of the rail, more than enough.
Trying to get more of these tricky angles that obviously Nyx can get to with her wall jump. Gives us almost that extra element of what to expect, right? You know, Vu's got to be ready for angles he might not normally consider. And looks like he's down there trying to get this, heavy armor. He does control. I mean, just look at how much health and armor he's got. That's insane.
Zoot did miss that rail. At that time, he couldn't see him. Vu now going really fast. Right, it's actually been a while since Vu's been able to spot him.
Oh, tags the rail. Armor sponges most of it, though.
Always going straight in. No doubt that rocket's going to cause Vu to retreat. Now they're running back down towards the heavy armor. This is where the fight's going to start. Zoot's caught him, but can he finish it off?
This is quite a lengthy overtime we're seeing. Ghost Walk comes through. Heavy armor goes towards Vu again.
Manages to get a rail, so that's going to undo some of the armor. This is a long overtime. You can tell
Mega health is up in a few seconds. Zoot probably looking for it.
I feel like Zoot is doing an amazing job of just being really careful. I mean, because consistently Vu has just had so much more stats in general. Catches 1, 2 rails. Can he finish it though? He's landed 2, but bear in mind, look at the amount of health that Vu has left. And it's 15 seconds and he has Ghost Walk. He won't be able to use it here. But as I've said that, Vu has actually sort of run off, so it's not going to be too bad for him. But he hasn't got the invisibility just yet. And now he's got it activated.
Looks like Zoot's being really careful, not wanting to contest with these big power-ups too much. If he gets caught in a bad situation, that rocket comes through. Oh. Doesn't connect though, he's alive.
Hang on.
Uses the Ghost Walk aggressively. Oh, mega health.
He's caught him. Vu though with plenty of health left. I think Zoot's going to try and sort of really space out. He's making these bold decisions, but again, he's got no Ghost Walk. The acid connects, he's going to take ticking damage. Vu is going to be able to spot him as well, which means that's a perfectly safe heavy armor to take.
Speaking of armor though, Zoot, with only 50 capacity, one of those is going to bring him back up to halfway. Very
Zoot
crucial.
Also only has 2 rails left. He actually has to get more ammo for that rail gun, because that really is his lifeline. He needs the rails for this fight, otherwise it's going to be a lot more free that Vu can just go in and rush him.
Oh, rocket comes through. There we go, tops up on rails, got himself 12 now. Oh, that rocket. Oh, he's chasing it.
But at the same time...
Oh, he's made the read!
Oh,
he's chasing it down!
No!
Zoot doubled back. That was so smart.
That could have been absolutely everything. But is he running straight into him? He has no armor. He can't afford to take this. He has no armor left. And the acid doesn't connect. But unfortunately, after such a long round, Zoot does go down there. That was a very, very long round.
I mean, if you get caught without Ghost Walk, and you've got a Sorlag with acid ready to go, that is a miserable situation to be in. And even though Zoot fought so well, unfortunately, Vu just played that one a little bit better at the end there. Vu looking really strong, 2 rounds up now, 1 round away from taking map 1.
He's got the injection, but unfortunately catches him in a really bad situation. That's going to be 1 frag really quickly. But unfortunately, I think the problem that Vu's having is...
a little bit of banter in the chat, wow.
Nice. Oh, the 100 damage rocket as well. I think after a round that long, and a marathon that goes on for as long as that one did, it can take a lot to sort of recover from that, right? But at the same time,
I can imagine so, but at the same time, do you even have time to? Zoot trying to get him here, but Vu on this Anarchy again, we've already seen how much of a pain Vu can be on this character, and already he's managed to take out Zoots and is just running around the map again.
But just look at the health and armor. Zoot really hasn't got much stats up there at all. I really feel like that final moment on that second round was when Zoot ran out of rails. And I think Vu knew that, you know. So the final moment was where he just waited for Zoot to go down and take that railgun to get the ammo back. And at that point, that was basically a good read. It's really sort of set the tide for what the rest of this game is. Vu once again taking out the Anarchy off Zoot really quickly.
Even though you're only 1 minute 20 seconds into this round. Not too bad though, still plenty to go. We've already seen how much of a difference Zoot made. You know, last time he was down 2 champions in his Nyx. Almost made a comeback by itself.
And a high damage rocket though. But you can just see how agile Vu is trying to stay. He doesn't want to stay in like one position for too long. But because of that, it's very hard to sort of pin him down.
Oh, he's caught Zoot on the ground. Is he going to go in for this kill? He's popped the injection, he's going in.
Doesn't teleport to the die roll, makes the read, and he doesn't do it. And once again, Zoot is down to his final champion. Vu's Anarchy has just been a complete headache this entire game.
It seems like it. And Nyx Anarchy does get launched in the air. There, a really good rocket from Zoot, but Vu, oh, he reads where he's going to be going, but he is backed to the wall, and Zoot pins him against it and taken down immediately. And we find ourselves here, familiar territory, but this time Vu goes straight to Sorlag instead of Clutch.
I think even more familiar territory in this sense, because now it's pretty much the exact same matchup that we saw throughout that entire duration of Sudden Death. And they're playing it again. However, we're not even halfway through. Only a few seconds will be halfway through the round, so that's plenty of time
to go, and Zoot is still down on champions though. Last time it was 1 apiece, but if Vu can stall this one out for another 2 minutes 30 seconds, he will win. Looks like he wants to though, he's just going straight up, the acid comes out.
100 damage on that rocket, but then again, he's got so much health left. And once again, you can see that Vu will see where he is. 33 health.
Good rail, just to get some damage down on Vu, trying to get away with the Ghost Walk. Oh, if Vu had a rail ready there, that could have been a game.
Bear in mind, he actually collected the Mega Health too. Vu's confidence on when he should secure the heavy armor and Mega Health is really brave decision making.
As you said, though, he's gone for that heavy armor, has it confirmed? Oh, some of the rocket. Don't think Vu is quite aware of how weak Zoot is right now.
Maybe he is. He sees a rail, he's going in for the kill, and a good prediction on what side Zoot was going to try and dodge. Now, that was a really, really long game, even though it was a 3-0. Technically.
I think we're going to see Zoot starting with Anarchy again, because it seems when they have the Anarchy versus Anarchy fight, Vu continuously pulls off ahead, but Zoot has been able to kill Vu's Anarchy a few times with Ranger, so maybe you think, could it be worth starting with Ranger instead?
I don't know really, because I think Zoot consistently, when he plays this game, he does duels. He uses Anarchy first basically all the time, like it's pretty much his go-to starting champion, so the fact that he's going with it first every time, it doesn't really surprise me. There's also going to be a level of comfort. He must just feel like Anarchy gets the job done for what he wants to do when it comes to who he picks first. So, staying confident to his decision making, right? And bear in mind, again, this map was picked by him. He is comfortable on this map, and he's comfortable with the champion selection.
Oh, we got the jump on Vu though. Very low on health, and that's what we need. That quick swap to rail, and Zoot wakes up and takes out Vu's Anarchy for the first time as Anarchy.
I mean, those quick swaps to rail are hard too when you play against Anarchy, because obviously he's got that increased air mobility with his hoverboard as his passive. That also includes when he gets hit by a rocket launcher. So, you know, sometimes you hit someone with a rocket and they get launched into the air and you rail them before they land. Kind of like the classic two-piece combo. Anarchy is not as vulnerable to that because he can move while he's being hit by the rocket.
Which makes it all the more impressive if you do hit the follow-up.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot from Zoot. And it's a nice adaptation. You know, you can clearly see that being down the game hasn't really affected him at all.
That's what I mean though, composure. You can't let losses like that really get you down for too long, especially if you've still got plenty of matches left to go.
And Vu does not want Zoot to take that heavy armor at all.
Oh, you did pick it up anyway though, but Vu ready for him again. Acid used, yeah, didn't quite land on the mark though.
It's kind of hard to hit Anarchy with the acid, I think. He's in the air so much, he's not really going to touch that puddle, or the many puddles that he can create, or she can create.
There's the aggression from Vu coming out, but he does get hit by a rocket and decides to turn away.
Oh, I went through
not quite sure how that missed.
It went through her legs, I think. That's very
unfortunate.
Oh
my
not
goodness.
as unfortunate as that, though. The chase down with the rocket. And you can just see how vulnerable these weak champions are to weapons like the rocket launcher if they haven't got armor behind them.
Vu is just playing so well at the moment. Oh, good mobility. Look at this. Look how fast she can be around this map. Sorlag.
Plenty of health to take that self-rocket jump. Easy trade-off, considering that health you're going to collect along the way. Always lying in wait with the LG. Gets a nice trail of damage.
Just heard the dire orb used. Has to make a read on where he thinks it's going to reappear. Obviously, we can see they're quite nowhere near each other right now, but Vu able to secure that heavy armor.
They're meeting in the middle. Here comes the LG trail. Who's going to win this exchange? Oh, and he tries to go in for the acid, but Zoot does have the last laugh in that fight, but he's taking so much damage. Even though he's collected all that health, it definitely saved him 100%. Now Vu down to his final champion. It's going to be Clutch versus Ranger. Now Ranger really has got an edge up close because that dire orb goes through the shield. It completely ignores it. So if you're accurate, bear in mind he's a chunky character. Big hitbox. You can get uncontested 100% damage that you can't really do anything about. Has got the mega health. He's got there so fast.
You see though, a few seconds away from mega health, not quite enough. See how fast Clutch can be. Look, he's already here trying to stop him. Oh no! Landing on the barrier is forced though. That's really good for Zoot. And Vu's going to use that barrier just to get that mega health.
Using the dire orb almost like a prediction in case he saw him go across the bridge for rocket instead. Opted to take the railgun. But Zoot now, again, he's in that comfortable situation. I mean, his defensive style with the railgun worked really well in Ruins, but unfortunately, just that final play, right, didn't go in his favor. But the rails from distance worked wonders.
Oh, unfortunate miss. Looks like Zoot is ever so slightly off the mark with a bunch of these shots.
I don't think he realizes that Vu was behind him.
Oh, the barrier is popped.
Teleports to it, but doesn't quite go up high enough. Here comes Vu, the chase! But he goes head first into a rocket through the jump pad, and Zoot does get around on the board.
That's exactly what he needed going into this though. I mean, this was his map. You don't want to be losing the first round if you've chosen that map by choice. You know what I mean? You want to know that, okay, I've swapped to this. Was it a good idea? Was it a mistake? And clearly, Blood Covenant, much more comfortable for Zoot.
I agree completely as well. It's just the way the champions are structured. Like, Zoot is just, he's looking so free at how he runs around the map and collects all these items.
Well, we saw him win this Anarchy 1v1 last time. Is he going to be able to do the same thing again?
I think it's key. I feel like really to stay alive in the round, an amazing start for Zoot is that he needs to make sure he gets that Anarchy down first.
Oh, taking out 6 life already there. Yeah. Single rocket doing so much damage.
I think Vu acknowledges that he has no injection as well. He has done the maths in his head. Zoot is so weak, he has to get out there. Vu's doing everything he can to head him off, but Zoot staying very slippery, hard to pin down.
Missing rail for rail though. Oh, he's getting chased. Vu being really aggressive, but Zoot just giving him the slip.
Yeah, Zoot doing minimal damage with the LG, but the important thing is that he's still alive. Obviously, this next decision is going to be who. Oh, we had the jump pad. Yeah, Zoot's just going to get out of there. I wonder if he's going to be just content letting him try and take the heavy. Oh, and he tried to head him off the rail. I love the prediction, but unfortunately didn't quite get the accuracy on the rail there.
Oh, and there's that rocket. Knocks him straight through the teleporter. Vu. Oh, actually goes back down the same way. And Vu's going to take that one ahead, though. That was actually quite a good, almost like a little game of chicken there, you know. Is he going to go through the teleporter again? Is he going to come around behind? But Vu just went around the exact same way before, second time.
Okay, so now Zoot goes on to Ranger again. Vu still on all 3 champions.
I say though, Zoot looking really confident on the Ranger specifically. Right now, Vu, almost got knocked out of the air.
That was actually a really nice movement, actually, using sort of like the backwards movement. You don't really see that every day, but a really good job of actually sort of getting him out of that dangerous situation. Zoot catches him though. Can he finish the job? No. The rocket comes out again, and Zoot down to his final champion.
See how important it can be to land those rails in those crucial moments, even if it's on a really fast and hard to hit moving target. Ghost Walk goes through, chasing for this armor. Oh, Zoot gets the jump on him with a super shotgun, but Vu returns fire with a super shotgun. And on a squishy character like Nyx, that's going to do plenty of damage.
I think on the flip side, actually, if he was able to get like a point-blank super shotgun that does like 120 damage, he might have even been able to sort of like either get her or have her very, very, very close to being fragged. But in that situation, just that grounded rocket from that close, these light champions can't survive the damage output like that. But
Indeed.
I just feel like getting Anarchy out of this game as fast as possible is what Zoot has to do. Like
Indeed, for sure.
It just looks way too important to make sure that he hasn't got that speed.
Well, it seems to be that, you know, when Vo0 doesn't have Anarchy and he's stuck on those smaller, slower champions, Zoot not only just gets to move around a bit better, but almost like, yes, he can do more with power-ups, but Vo0 on this Anarchy just seems really aggressive when it comes to controlling heavy armor and mega health. And when he's got Anarchy up, I mean, Zoot just is so much more starved for options.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Mega health's going to be up in 5 seconds. A little bit of a fight for it. Looks like Vu's going to secure that one. A bit too risky for Zoot to try and follow through and prevent that, I think.
You can see, though, looks like Zoot's back up there. Anyway, maybe just try and get himself a rocket. Oh, misses the rail. Both players missing quite a lot of these today.
Definitely looks like a slightly slower pace from what we did see on Ruins. In terms of, like, I think Zoot being able to really fight back, even though it was a very long game, comfortably went into the favor of Vo. This Blood Covenant pick. There's a lot more confidence, I think, in Zoot's game plan here. Catch them on top, forcing the injection, chasing it with the LG, and just like that, Zoot with just the explosive aggression, really quickly taking up that life. And again, now Vu's down to Sorlag. I like that though, Zoot being able to recognize immediately this is the time to go in, and just so I could say that, doing so much damage, but the acid from Vo just slathered everywhere, and Zoot gets melted. She destroys small champions. If she gets that really good up-close situation where she just sprays them and the damage ticks in comparison with a super shotgun or a lightning gun, they just cannot survive from that damage that gets taken out. Zoot trying to get out of there, takes the mega health, uses the dire orb, and chasing back actually with the lightning gun, being really aggressive.
Oh, that rocket doesn't quite connect. Zoot trying to hit with some LG from above. Doesn't quite connect himself.
Really, yeah, trying to check those prediction rockets, keep them in check. Heavy armor's up, throwing the dire orb. Really nice actually combination, kind of showing what Ranger does really well on this map, where he can actually throw the dire orb, collect an item, and then teleport to the orb to safely get away. You can see that Vo was waiting for him to take that and maybe just pepper the rockets down, damage him big time, maybe undo some of the armor, but because of the dire orb, he did not have the chance to do it.
That's just one of those strengths of the teleportation of the dire orb, though, isn't it? Like, you know, if you want to chase that down, you have to go where he throws it and see if it's going to work. I was going to say, a lot of damage coming through, though. I think Zoot's quite low enough yet, but that damage is going to start adding up, and the rocket launcher denies that. Now Nyx is back out by herself again against the Sorlag and Clutch. We've already seen how powerful Clutch can be versus Nyx, so this could be quite difficult for Zoot to come through.
See, as we mentioned, Nyx is able to sort of undo the ticking damage using her Ghost Orb, but it does require her to use her ability. And on top of the fact that, yeah, Vo is unbelievably stacked. Lots of health versus, well, not much on the side of Nyx.
Oh, but Zoot is going to connect that rail. That's the thing, though. Now Vo is down to his bigger characters. The champions are going to have a bigger hitbox to them, so easier targets to hit.
That's one thing about Blood Covenant as well, is the fact that you can hear lots of different things that go along. So if you don't know where the enemy is, just sort of stop, listen out. You might find out.
Oh, he does get sight of him. Yeah, you see where that rocket comes from, knows that Zoot's down there. He's safe to pick up this mega health, and Zoot, yeah, oh, he just sees him. A little bit too late.
I feel like this defensive style, it's because there's so many little nooks and crannies that you can take on a map like Blood Covenant, this sort of defensive keep away style that Vo is trying to establish. He's really trying to establish distance between him and Zoot. 1 minute warning. 1 minute left of this match. Vo is sitting on 2 champions. All he has to do is survive for 60 seconds, make that almost 50 seconds in a short space of time. Vo's going in, but I mean, Sorlag has so much health, it's going to be very difficult to take him out here.
Now, problem is, 45 seconds to go. Ghost Walk, similar-ish kind of cooldown. So he's going to have another one this round. It's going to be soon or right near the end, but it isn't even going to matter as Vo gets that final frag and takes the round, brings himself to match point in what could be the final round of this series.
I feel like Zoot's playing much better on this map. It's just a matter of the Anarchy is such a headache, and the Anarchy does so much damage before he gets taken down.
Vo just also seems to have a really passive style as well. I guess especially on this Anarchy, he just makes himself to be a massive headache. You know, just controlling everything, being really slippery, hard to pin down. And Sorlag, he's actually doing the same sort of thing with.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing as well that Zoot, all three of his champions, that there's really not a lot of health or armor on the side of any of those, which means that if he's playing clutch, he can really sort of like, you know, enforce that shield sort of pressure game at point blank. But Sorlag in particular, you know, you can see the health just go down when Vu is up close. He's got a lightning gun, he goes in for the acid, and it just drains all of the health that all three of Zoot's champions bring to the table. Like, I don't really think he has any champions that can safely tank any of Sorlag's damage.
Doesn't seem to be like it. I guess Ranger's probably his best bet, and even then, Ranger's not the tankiest of champions in the game. That's more by default. He's getting chased down with a lot of LG. Actually not following it up. Vu quite low right now, Vu. I think Zoot's doing a good job of just taking this LG in this 1v1 that really is prevailing for him. But again, using that speed boost to get out of there. I think Zoot is consistently getting Vu on the brink of death so many times, but he just can't close it out. You see the mega health is up as well as the heavy armor. So Vu is quite content just to pick this up. I assume Zoot will be getting the armor. Yes, they do. They just trade it each. They're going to meet on this bridge.
Oh, Anarchy just getting knocked off the bridge right there.
Oh, missing another rail.
Both players missing rails as well. I think Anarchy quite hard to hit. Bear in mind, very small hitbox.
To be fair, I think that's probably the main reason we are seeing so many of these rails miss. Like, it's Anarchy versus Anarchy. Arguably the hardest target in their hardest target in the game to hit, and they're both playing it. So this exchange is going to be quite difficult. But the armor and the health already always coming back up. Who gets the armor this time?
Tagging Zoot as well means he can really sort of play aggressively, chase him down.
He's trying to beat Zoot there. Catches him on the jump pad. The lightning gun. Oh my lord! And that's the brave play from Vu. You saw that. No wasting time. He picks up the heavy armor and then just beelines straight for the mega health.
It was that rocket boost. It gave him the speed that he needed to not only beat Zoot to the mega health, but just finish him off as he tries to collect it. Catch him with the LG on the jump pad, and obviously if you're airborne getting hit by a lightning gun, you really can't move. Even if you are Anarchy, you're stuck there. Oh, he does meet Zoot point blank, but again, the rail doesn't connect. He might pay heavily for that. Does he teleport to the orb? He does. But the mega health.
Oh, that was close. We see Zoot hitting a lot of these rails now. It really counts. I think Zoot's realized what's on the line here.
Every single time, though, Zoot manages to land a rail on Vu, he always only just collects some sort of important health or armor item that lets him tank it. He always has such little health at the end, but he manages to beat Zoot to those health items so he can survive all of the necessary damage that he takes getting them.
Once again, Zoot finds himself trying to top up down there. Oh, we catches him on the other side of the teleport. He's chasing him down. That could be it. One more champion to go. Zoot again finds himself with just Nyx left, having to make a full 3-champion comeback by himself.
There's definitely a lot on the line here. Bear in mind, whoever wins this series will move on to the EU regionals. And Vu is basically 1 champion away. If you're on the receiving end of this and you only have 1 champion and you have to take out 3 in a comeback, I mean, that can really take a lot on your morale. That's so much work to do, especially in this high pressure, high stake situation.
As we can talk about the champion advantage. Oh, and Zoot finally gets that one. That was super important, but once again, Vu finds himself with 2 champions left to go and 1 minute and 20 seconds left before the timeout.
Bear in mind, Vu has just respawned, so he's not going to have any weapons. If Zoot can catch him now before he gets a rocket or a rail or a lightning gun, as I've said that, he's probably just collected a lightning gun down underground. That was probably his best chance, I think, of getting a comeback, was catching him super early. Obviously, Vu walking around, keeping his footsteps nice and quiet.
Oh, the acid comes through. Ghost walks just to get straight through.
Being aggressive. Does he walk into the rockets? He gets stuck. Unfortunately, Zoot does go down. And unfortunately, Zoot is out of the tournament. But Vu will move on into the EU regionals. Well played.